I have done a lot of work in political psychology over the last several years, and it's led me into this area looking at how women versus men tend to view political issues. And so it's a good, I think, topic to get into given what's happened in the last couple of months and the last few years actually with American politics, because there's this perception that conservatives and members of the Tea Party and Republicans in general might be less welcoming of women, not able to relate to them, and all those sorts of things. And those are perceptions and in fact misperceptions in most cases, but they're still interesting. And a lot of the work that I do in this vein tends to involve religion as well, because to the extent that a religious belief or community that you belong to has a psychological and a sociological dimension, there's also a political aspect to it. And what I'm presenting at this conference at Northern Illinois University on gender and political psychology deals with how female Muslims in the U.S. look at their identity, whether it be political or religious or something else. And one of the really interesting things, if you look at public opinion work on Muslims in the U.S., is that great research organizations like Gallup and Pew and some others, they tend to ask questions that are maybe a little confining to a survey respondent. For instance, one of them that gets asked a lot, or at least it used to, is, do you consider yourself more Muslim or more American? But to the extent that these types of questions are used and people respond to them and then those results get reported in the media, it has this sort of feedback loop effect, if you will, where people start to think, okay, well, to be a quote-unquote good Muslim, I need to say that I'm American more than Muslim and all that sort of thing. And one of the things I do with the research I'm presenting at Northern Illinois is looking at how women in the Muslim community perceive those types of questions when they're asked them in surveys, and how they then respond. Because there's all types of questions that come after those about their political behavior, about what motivates them, and all of this. And so I'm saying that women may respond to those types of questions differently than men, and in fact, they do. I find that women are actually more likely to say that they're politically involved than men. The finding essentially is that women don't seem to be as constrained by participation in political types of activities in the stereotypical way. A lot of times people think about women being less engaged, feeling less enfranchised, and this is just in general. This isn't about Muslim women or non-Muslim women. But you don't see that, and I think that's because you're in comparison to Muslim men in this country who really are worried about, well, I look really active, or if I look like I'm too politically active, is that going to draw attention to me, and all of this sort of thing. And so it really is flipping the conventional wisdom about participation along gender lines on its head, and I think that that's sort of a fascinating type of find. We'll see if other people think so when I present, but that's what the experimental results are showing us at this point.